Good morning. As some may be aware, I currently serve in the U.S. military and have been doing that for close to 19 years now. Since July of 2005, this journey with Uncle Sam has taken me on a combat tour with Marines to Iraq, training commands for Marines in hot Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, as well as some hospitals with the best healthcare providers within military medicine. Whether in Okinawa, Japan, or Pohang, South Korea, or at the five-sided building that gave me a lot of heartburn, called the Pentagon. Life has shown me many different roads to take. Like many different facets of life, change is constant. And with that, I close the door on an almost 5-year tour with the crew of PCU John F. Kennedy, one of the newest, most advanced aircraft carriers under construction in the shipyard at Newport News, Virginia. And I'm set to temporarily relocate to Eastern Europe for another assignment. God willing, I'll return back to my church and continue the good work God has been doing. But how did we get here? When health officials recommended the closure of in-house religious gathering and ushered in face mask wearing, as well as social distance protocol, my mom asked about how the church could go and do a Facebook Live. So from my grandmother's home in Portsmouth, I started a new Facebook page and showed her how to run it. And that upcoming Sunday, my mom went live from the parking lot of Bryant Baptist Church. Watching the live at times, when I saw the notification, I would kind of laugh and not tune in. Or sometimes I would tune in from my home in Virginia Beach. Up to that point, even before I moved from DC, I was solely watching, for a couple of years, Pastor Stephen Furtick of Elevation Church located in Charlotte, North Carolina, from the comfort of my home and bed and my car because it was everywhere. So I wasn't thinking nothing about Bryant Baptist Church, just being honest, sorry. Now, when I did turn into the Facebook Lives, my mom, there she was, greeting everyone on the live as they joined. She'll be having conversation with people on the live.
I need you to see the church.
You need to turn that way, then.
Or having long conversation with the people in the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm on the church. Look, now I did 1 or 2 of them now. Go out of that one and come back in.
She'll move the camera around, she'll be singing loud and out of tune on the camera, and then she'll be recording the ground instead of the speaker. So I said I should probably help because this is just a headache. I came one Sunday, and from there I haven't looked back. Starting something as simple as filming the service was nothing new for our church because, after all, growing up, we had the heavy over-the-shoulder camera at one particular point. Then, I think when I left, Brother Lashley took over, and then subsequently Reverend Mel saw the camera, and he was doing it. But while doing that and trying to capture that in a limited distraction environment, became very, very difficult for me, especially holding a handheld phone and from the parking lot under a hot tent. Sunday after Sunday, we came and we did what we were called to do. The virus became better controlled, or as we thought it was. We got vaccines. I'm proud to say I got the vaccine early in the game when it was still under the emergency authorization. Because as a healthcare provider, I understood the importance of advocating for your patients, but you must advocate for yourself. And I can't not do one thing and then tell someone else to do it. So I prayed, and I kept moving, and I'm still here to this day. Never got COVID. And from there, we started to make plans to continue to perfect that what we were doing inside of the church every Sunday. Thanks to the church leadership, in the absence of a pastor, we invested in the building of the kingdom through the media ministry. Make no mistake about it. What we have been able to do in the short time I have been here, while it's all amazing, at best it is not a requirement. But it does serve to complement the total worship experience, especially when viewed from your phone. It's like going to a Sunday service in July and the AC doesn't work. Not sure how many people would stay to the very end. All in all, while I take my 12-month vacation away, I want to thank the Board of Deacons and the trustees for putting their trust in me to advise them the best I could, as well as put up with my many requests to buy things. Thankfully, they were good stewards of the church's money and didn't honor all my requests. To the ministers who carry the gospel, when it was 10 inside the church or a row of vehicles outside of the church, it probably did take some time getting used to, especially speaking in front of a camera like this, which I still like to speak behind the camera or just off-site, or recording conversations for the New Year's Eve service, and joining the new advanced age of Zoom with our Bible study. We did our very first session here in my home with Reverend Mel leading the way. To Brother Curtis and Sister Robin for putting up with the amateurs such as myself that only went to YouTube University to figure out how to do all this sound system stuff, and dealing with the very old sound system that needs to be replaced with a quickness. So if anyone has $40,000 that's laying around somewhere that they would like to donate, please let our leadership know so we can get what we need. Also a drummer to complement the music. Y'all got Sister Robin just being an orchestra all by herself. But that shows her commitment, her and her husband's commitment to our church. Also Dr. Freeman, who made equally far trips when she was planning preaching on our youth Sundays. To Layla and Melvon, that will be taking over the booth and all things media related. Let's be honest, most days, every Sunday, I felt overwhelmed. Every funeral, every revival, every special event, every time someone put a mic to their mouth and we went live, because something always went wrong, and Lord forgive me, a couple of curse words may have been dropped on multiple occasions consecutively. Because with every issue, it's just more issues over top of that. But hopefully the frustration that I experienced was not a distraction for anyone else inside the church. Now on Facebook Live, audio is always a problem. I know we got it. I get the message. I see the messages. But if you're able to come inside the building, that will probably better serve you if you can. So Layla and Melvon, don't even stress out about the small stuff. To the members of the Bryant Baptist Church, I absolutely and without reservations love all of you. It has been a wonderful time rejoining my roots and listening and learning. I think back to when we had the baptismal pool outside. We would go and we would play in it at the church. We used to drink some of the communion wine that was left over from the communion Sundays, or my favorite youth Sunday when all of us would gather downstairs. It was a lot of us. And we would have prayer immediately after Sunday school. We would put on those hot, itchy robes, and we would march into the church from the foyer to the altar and then into the choir stand. Natasha would be greatly impressed that we're still carrying that on. This church has provided me with a great and solid foundation in every step of the way. I may have pushed more for innovation and upgrade, but I hope I work to be mindful of having a good balance between the traditional feel as well as a modern approach. Now, as I turn into my new chapter and face tomorrow in a different country, my prayer is that as we keep one of Pastor Hill's favorite scriptures at hand, we are many members but one body, that as new members join the church, we make intentional decisions to embrace them while listening to the voice of God as they bring their talent into the church, that it might complement the worship experience. Now, we don't need Pastor Hill trying to do a Mike Todd service and jumping on a trampoline, nor do we need a bunch of overly complicated veiled messages. And while we're on this topic, please be mindful that anything you say and do when the camera's on, you might just be recorded. So don't tell it all, because people know how to find some mess if you leave it. Nevertheless, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. May the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, and be gracious to you, and give you peace. Thanks.
Be gracious to